gonna be honest with you. I do, and again, make it
You are far smarter than you can ever imagine. There is no obstacle that you cannot overcome, no problem that you cannot solve, and no goal that you cannot achieve by applying your mind to your situation. Go on and
Happy Monday, y'all. Look like Facebook gave us some love this morning, y'all. We back on Facebook. I don't know if that's good or bad. So I'm going to try to, good morning, Brit. So thank y'all. We just got released. We are on house arrest, I think. We did our bid, though, like champs, and we made it through that shit. So tell a friend. We are back. We definitely still on, we definitely still on YouTube. And I'm over there too. So, yeah, I'm over there too. But my face is not showing up over there. I don't know why. But my face is not showing up over here either. I don't know why. Maybe I'm behind.
Yes, you're behind.
I'm behind. Am I a big behind?
Hey, some people will say that.
Happy Monday, y'all. I am one half of Real Talk Uncensored. Tone is in training still, but he will be here next Monday. So, yeah, we're going to welcome him back. And then we possibly will have news for you. We may possibly have to move to a different time slot to allow for Tone to be making his living. And we're happy to do that because we understand that shit. Yeah, happy December to the stupid Sagittarius.
You're really behind.
I'm really behind, a bit behind. To all our Sagittariuses, Yeah, y'all flighty as fuck. Y'all need to make a.
See, I don't know what's this hate, because every time you talk about anybody else's sign, you give them some shit for no damn reason because you keep praising your own. I feel it's like, look, every sign deserves love. You know, it doesn't make sense for you to just disown Sagittarius and Aquarius and Pisces and all that stuff, but now you support those Virgos and all that stuff.
Listen here, quinoa, because that's who we got with us today. Quinoa, listen here, quinoa. I have beautiful things to say, good and bad, about every sign, even Capricorns. There's bad stuff about Capricorns that I always say. Good morning, Nomi. Hey, Tay. Hey, Tweety. It's bad stuff that I can say about every sign. It really is. But Sagittarius, Sagittarians, right?
Sagittarians, we can call you. Yeah.
They hoes. One, they flighty. Two, they don't put their feet, they don't root nowhere. Like, you just have to run behind them the whole time, like a 2-year-old. Like, it's just, I love y'all though. I love y'all. My best friend's birthday is December 11th. So is my daughter's father's birthday is December 11th. So, I'm surrounded by them mofos. Anyway, I forgot to mention to y'all that last month was National Men's Health Month. So make every month National Men's Health Month, every month. So go get your little prostate check. Tone said you ain't got to have a finger, so don't be scared. Go make sure your blood pressure is good, especially in y'all 40s. Y'all know what it is. Things they don't stay where they used to stay, or they don't operate the way they used to operate. But sometimes they do, but we just got to go and make sure. So quinoa, make an appointment this month. Go and get your teeth.
I've been good all year, so I'm good.
You up to date?
Yes, I'm up to date.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you partake in the Men's Health Month, or every month is that?
I recently, I think of it this past year, I've been really more focused on that because my passing my dad and my cousin. So yeah.
Speaking of daddies, I'm gonna have to call my father, because that Bama be sending me. Look, I heard from a little birdie that my father be telling me pork pies. And you know what pork pies is? Pork pies is stories about, he's like, oh, I'm up to date on my health. I'm going to get whatever. And you ain't been going. I'm going to holler at you, big dog. I'm going to holler at you. So, quinoa, did you watch the game last night? Did you see the demonstration that Cowboys need to follow for how to beat the Eagles? That's how the fuck you beat the Eagles. And it could be done. Did you watch that game?
No, I didn't I saw the highlights. I'm I'm kind of surprised. No, actually, I'm not surprised. But to be honest, I saw on a posting, let's put it that way. The Niners beat your team too the same way. So pretty much it's like, the Niners just beat up the Cowboys and Eagles like they were stepchildren and put them in the damn closet.
Whooped our butt.
So, really, it was. I think it was time because the Eagles kind of last few weeks they were kind of like iffy. They started off slow. Yep. And then they'll kick it up. But this time the Niners sort of like, no, we ain't letting this go. Once they dominated that, once they got that 8-point lead, it was like they just ran off. So and he did it on Rocky Day. I mean, that's the sad part. My sister sent me a post of
Rocky.
Of Sylvester Stallone at the library where his statue is, and everybody was there and cheering and all that stuff. And I mean, damn, he's like, you did it on Rocky Day. It was Apollo Creed. Yeah, Apollo Creed. Won that one.
So I had a dilemma. Because fuck both of the teams, for real. Because just the very thing you said, it was a dilemma. I'm sitting there like, I don't want I really don't like the 49ers. I really wanted them to win, but I was thinking like, because down the line, it's gonna be some shit for. Because I'm a realist, you know. I realize like they don't come to lose, they come to win, and we're funny. Like for the last 5 games, we've been coming to win, but again, we have not. The caliber of teams that we're beating, they don't compare. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even though it's every given Sunday, the caliber of teams we've been playing, it's not that. So I said, no, I want the Eagles to win, but that's stupid as shit. They're in my division. Really, so.
I think, let's say this, the Seahawks game, I think, because I didn't see all of it until like the last quarter, and I was kind of surprised to see. At the time, it was the Seahawks were leading, and I figured it's like it was the punch in the mouth you guys needed because you guys been like beating up everybody else for weeks, and then it's like, whoa, okay, we were facing a team that's trying to fight for a playoff spot.
Well, Gino ain't no slouch.
Yeah, no, true, he wasn't until those last 4 minutes. I think the Eagles game is the big test for you guys. I think that you guys. You know, like I said, you've been cruising all this time, and I think this next week will be your big test. I think you and any of your Eagle friends will come at you and say, "Hey, you want put down some money and kidneys and all that stuff to see who will win this one." Because I think it would be a brutal battle. Because after what the Niners did to you two, it feels like you guys are going to just like, okay, we got to prove ourselves who's not only worthy of the division. But also to be trying to fight for that top spot. So.
Good morning, Stick. Can you check YouTube for me, Quinoa? There's no face over there. What about how the Commanders? Did you expect that?
Yes.
Did you?
I
mean, no. The lead though, like the high. You didn't expect it to be low scoring.
Against the Dolphins, that team, the Commanders. When you let go your defensive coordinator after Thanksgiving, before that you got rid of 2 of your best corner pass rushers.
Yes, you did.
And you really haven't changed anything. And you're facing against an offense that is just absolutely just has so many crazy weapons. Yeah, you would have gotten your hands handed to you.
I need to say something. I hope it doesn't get nowhere, and I hope that this person is not. Hope this person does not come and see me. Are we on there? I don't know why I'm going crazy over here.
You and technology are behind.
We're not teching today. So, with Debo Samuels, they need to give him a cup this morning. They need to come to it and knock on his door and like make him take a test. That nigga was freakishly. It didn't seem odd.
They have something to prove. The Niners have been kind of like iffy for a while until the last couple of weeks. So they really they've been like known to be like one of the teams in the NFC to be going to the Super Bowl. And then the last few weeks they were kind of like, what the hell's wrong with you? And then finally now these last few games it's like, okay, we're getting back into the groove again. So it, like I said, this last month of the season is going to be interesting, and but as I can tell, you haven't said anything about where we're at, about the Maryland area. My team.
I didn't get there yet.
Oh, but okay, I'll let you fly the ship.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's a great segue. Like honestly, I can show you this. It's a great segue. Go ahead. And somebody called the Commanders the Washington Waste Management,
which is true. It's a waste. It's
blackout.
Honestly, back to the Commanders. I'll say this: the unfortunate thing is, Ron Rivera is still there. Yeah. I mean, he Jack Del Rio was a scapegoat, but when you are your own GM, there is no GM. That's the thing, folks. Ron Rivera for the last 3 years has orchestrated this team. He built this team, and this is what he got. For the new ownership to say, okay, we'll wait till the end of the season, but you had keep in mind, after Jack Del Rio was let go, by the following week, you already had a freaking Frank Reich from the Carolina Panthers getting fired.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, mid-season? Yeah. Not a coordinator. He's a head coach. And he was a decent head coach.
But you understand why, though.
No. For the Panthers, I don't, because that was his first year.
So they should have allowed it a little more time.
Well, the owner of the Panthers, he's ridiculous. I mean, because he's fired 3 head coaches. Ron Rivera was the first one.
Yeah.
For the last 3 years. In addition to, he owns the Carolina soccer team. He fired 2 coaches within the span of 2 years. So 5 coaches in 5 years is kind of like weird. And because if you're seeing your product for the first time, and not allowing it to fully develop. That's why it's just weird to sort of fire a head coach after just 1 year. And either because
sometimes you can see
Can you?
The big sometimes.
Sometimes. I feel like the Texans I feel like was totally wrong what they did to Lovie Smith. Firing him after that 1 year. And then, mind you, they're good. You can say they're good now, but it's like Lovie Smith is a Super Bowl leading coach. He led the Bears to a Super Bowl. And you dissed him out after 1 year because I don't know what you didn't see.
No, it was some inside stuff with that.
And in addition, in addition, he helped you get C.J. Stroud. I mean, come on. But anywho. But as for my team,
go ahead, Ravens.
These next 5 weeks, it's every game is a playoff for us. If you look how the remaining games of the season for all the teams, every game we have to deal with except for one is all playoff contending teams. So I feel it's like this is good. This is a true battle test for us, and I'm saying us, the flock. Yes, I'm grateful, and it's like I'm thankful. I'm gonna say this for the other flocks of the Cardinals. Thank you. For beating up those, Steelers and even taking out Pickett.
They took out Pickett.
Yeah, so before the rain, because that was the thing, before the lightning showed up.
The rain was crazy.
Yeah, and then, the Chiefs losing in Green Bay, which is kind of sweet.
That was the one for me.
Yeah.
Like, that was the one. Was it Green Bay?
Yeah, it was in Green Bay.
That's the one. That's the one for me.
Yeah, again, this shows there's something weird with Kansas City.
It is.
Because it's like, this is not, because normally even if certain pieces fall, go somewhere else or whatever, they would still be on point. This one is there's something off.
It looked bad. And Eric Kibler, a.k.a. Scar, which is my best friend, would disagree terribly. We had a conversation about that, which we will have again on Saturday when you come and get your hair done. We're going to have a conversation again because he told me it ain't never a time his team didn't look. It wasn't never a time his quarterback didn't look because he was going on mine. So now I have you, and this is a reference. I'm going to play it back. See what's the statisticals? You see what white man said. Now, before I move on, the other team that I like, that is 10 and 3 now. Is it 10 and 3 yet?
No, 9 and 3.
9 and 3?
Yeah.
Oh, Eagles are.
Yeah.
Detroit. Did you like how they bounced back from that Thanksgiving schmurder?
They screwed me on the Thanksgiving because I predicted them. I was like, dude, this is your opportunity for the first time in many in my lifetime. Watching a Detroit Lions Thanksgiving game was worth watching. In addition to even like during the Barry Sanders years or whatever, but this game was like you have a winning record. You just look interesting, and people will be talking about you in a real positive, huge light. And you throw up a stinker against your damn division rival, and I was like, oh God.
But the division thing, you know what that is.
True,
but people play the hardest, and honestly, I think that is a bad time for people to bet when they playing rivals because people show up that haven't shown up all season. They show up for that. When you see the Bears and the Packers play, it is crazy. When you see the Bears and the Lions play, it is crazy. When we see y'all play, y'all play Steelers, it's crazy. And the same thing with that shellacking that Redskins took on Thanksgiving. The same thing with that.
No. That was you guys did what you did. Commanders never showed up. They just took the ass whooping. They didn't retaliate at all.
They were cooking. They were home prepared.
Yes. We still had our turkey in the brine. That's what it was. Because I felt like the Lions. Yeah, they came back this week, but I think I'll give them credit. I think they if they keep the course, I think they'll win the division and may, I wouldn't say surprise people. They'll make things interesting.
I wouldn't want to play them.
You say that now, but the team that you do want to play was just beat up two NFC East teams.
Corey said the Swifties are messing up the Chiefs. Emo, what's up, Emo? He said, "Go Pack, go."
Yeah.
So here's a little trivia. I mean, and let me, this is the shameless plug, not for me, but for Barry Sanders. If y'all did not see the Barry Sanders thing on Prime, please go and look at it. And you will understand what a running back, that's what we used to look at. If you if you are not familiar with Barry Sanders, please familiarize yourself with it. Go on Prime and look at it, and then we're going to talk about it. Please, I wait till Tom come here next time. I'm giving everybody homework. Look at it. Barry Sanders was and is still a beast. Here's a little history for y'all. Ravens believed to be the first NFL team in history, first team in NFL history to have an all African American quarterback room.
Yep.
You knew that?
Yep.
Okay. The Las Vegas Raiders are making history as the only NFL team with a black president, coach, and a GM.
You knew that too.
And you knew that too.
And she's a woman.
Another thing I want to argue safely.
Yes, she's a woman. She's actually a real woman. A fine-ass woman.
She's fine.
Yes, she is fine.
I was reading something and it threw me off. They were saying, and y'all need to stop this shit, that Eagles and Cowboys fans are the most annoying fans. The NFL players said this.
Yeah, they are. They are.
The players said this.
Yeah, I would agree with it. Okay, have you ever, I've seen it on television. I've never dealt with a Philly Eagles situation. You've never been dealing with it. Okay.
I don't want to die.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I've seen enough to where the Eagles fans are just crazy abusive.
They're aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive and annoying. Yes, yeah. That's their version. Now the Cowboys, they're just annoying. They're literally annoying. They're you guys are just thinking you're the shit, and especially when you haven't done anything in over 30 years. So it's like you're just annoying. Cowboys are annoying. Eagles are just crazily aggressive. Yes, you can call timeout.
No, I was actually scratching my knuckles. I felt aggression. I just was scratching my knuckles. Congratulations to DeMarcus Ware, who got inducted. Boom. Congratulations to him, who was a Cowboy. He was a Bronco too, but he retired as a Cowboy. So congratulations to him. Yeah, I'm not with that Philly shit. I'm not with that. And as far as Cowboy fans being annoying, there are some. But in this area, I have to argue that because I'm in the area of Redskins. Them motherfuckers annoying as fuck. Okay, so I'm going to go over a top-tier caucasity today because I have to. Here goes. I don't have it in Tone's voice. I don't have it in Tone's. I don't have his layup. But y'all know white people do white people shit. And niggas be niggering. We're going to talk about them too. But the top tier caucasity story of the week is a 92-year-old woman allegedly killed her son in Arizona because she did not want to be sent to an assisted living facility. Anna Mae Blessing was charged with first-degree murder at 92. Aggravated assault and kidnapping after authorities found her 72-year-old son dead. Guess where they was at? Maricopa County. Okay. Blessing she hid 2 pistols in the pockets of her robe and shot her son several times in his bedroom. The sheriff's office said in a statement her son's girlfriend was also in the room and said she heard Blessing telling her son that she was tired of the way he treated her. And from her understanding, she had thought about it for a few days because there was a dispute regarding her son wanting to put her in a nursing home. Did y'all catch that? Miss Blessing Blessing, who was 92 years old, killed her 72-year-old son. This chick was packing 2 pistols in her robe pockets. And they said Blessing then pointed. Okay, let me go back. She was tired of the way her son was treating her. From her understanding, she had thought about it for a few days because there was a dispute about whether he wanted to put her in a nursing home. Maricopa County Sergeant said. Blessing then pointed the gun at her son's girlfriend, who struggled with her. Now, if he's 72, how old is the girlfriend?
Probably, maybe either a few years younger, maybe, or older, depending. Roughly, I'd say maybe late 60s, early 70s.
Okay. Blessing then pointed the gun at her son's girlfriend, who struggled with her until she lost her grip of the gun. When Blessing pulled out the second pistol from her son's robe, her son's girlfriend also knocked it out of her hand. So once she was disarmed, Blessing sat on a reclining chair until the deputies came and was like, arrest me. As the suspect was being escorted from the residence, she made a spontaneous statement to the effect of, you took my life, so I'm taking yours. Blessing moved in with her son and his girlfriend 6 months ago. Grandma. Medea. That's Medea. Pistol packing mama. They gonna lock her up? She's 92.
Yes.
She's 92.
Yeah, she have to. I mean, you pretty much lock her up in a nursing home. I mean, that's what pretty much we've done. You know, it's like, it's like,
She's 92.
So?
And look, so Maricopa is in where? Is Florida or Atlanta?
I think it's in Florida.
Okay, so life probably carries what, 20? Mm-hmm. If she gets murdered, can you look that up? Like what's the chart? I mean, what's the time frame for murder in Maricopa County or the state? I guess it's Florida. I think it's Florida. But I can't imagine. Like honestly, this sounds like it would be somewhere in Chicago to me. If I would pick that before I would pick this, but it goes to show, like, it don't matter. Your mama ain't.
Oh yeah, Maricopa is in Arizona. We were like way off.
Way off. Well, listen, don't play with your mama. I don't care how old she is. That's our takeaway from that. Okay, so the niggas gon' nigga. Churches step in after Florida restricts how Black history can be taught, and Black churches can be taught. Black churches in Florida are offering classes in American history in response to limits on the subject in its public schools. So all niggas gon' nigga ain't always a negative thing or something funny. It definitely is something serious, and the churches is stepping in, and I hope that this grows wings. And
actually, the real nigger.
What's the real nigger?
The Florida state government, i.e., DeSantis, because he's the ignorant idiot on this. Because based off of his crazy policies that he's been doing for the last 6 years, pretty much the last 3 of it, it makes no sense. It just doesn't, because he whatever this he's trying to put out there, to show the fact is like, look, Florida is a melting pot, and you got, I don't know who you're trying to represent. I really don't, and you pretty much want to make Florida, sink in the bottom with Atlantis, because based off of the ideology of banning, pretty much Black history, you don't want people understanding about, gender neutral information, stuff like that, or gender equality, even that. It's just ridiculous. The man is an idiot, and I do not, like you said, I don't blame anybody in Florida who wants to learn about certain things, and I just think that that state is the way it's run, the way it's the policies and stuff like that keeps getting passed. It's ridiculous. I mean, as much as you say we got to be a United States, honestly, there are certain states that everyone keeps saying is like, this needs to be, we need to own this one. And Florida is the number one right now.
Well, I think the people in Florida seem to be pretty happy with it. They're not fighting. They're not They're
Of course
moving.
not. They're not.
Because somebody was telling me that we were ignorant. Because one of my friends was moving. Oh, you ignorant? You're not going to stop me from going to Florida. You're not blah blah blah. And I said, in the long term, in the long run, something's going to something. Something's going to something. It's cute to go there. To me, I don't really want to give you my money. I don't want to give your state my money. I don't. And I know it's only Miami, but I feel like anything is DeSantis touches or dictated, so to speak, by or under his tutelage or his influence, I'm good on that. Because I feel like the people, okay, the same way, let's go back to when Orange Peel was in office, right? And his influence, you saw it everywhere. You saw people were being whatever, and I feel like people down there puffing their chests out, and I'm black, and I don't put me. What mama do? What mama did she shoot her son? Like, don't make me pack 2 pistols. Like, and I got my Florida concealed carry, so don't make me do it. But Grandma had 2 guns. Did we make that clear? That she had two pistols in her robe? Did we make that clear?
Double barrel, hey, whatever. Double packing.
Okay. Somebody says, what good is gender information bringing to us as a people? Nothing. Florida is still trying to hide Rosewood, says Aunt Vivian. Good morning. Hey, Mona. And then Blackout said, guess she felt that she'll get better treatment in jail versus the nursing home. So go ahead. Oh, and Corey said she might not live for her sentencing. But he said, what good is gender information bringing to us as a people?
Okay, what people are you talking about? I mean, again, this is like people, honestly, is like, I just, this past weekend, I missed most of the football yesterday because I was at Exotica.
That was this weekend?
That was this weekend. And you'll be seeing the footage, hopefully soon, depending on my work status. But anyway, but yeah, it was like, to be honest with you, it's about just people just being themselves. That's what it is. It's like, you just let them live. And for some odd reason, DeSantis is not fully allowing that. You're pretty much you're stirring a pot that's pretty much done, and it pretty much is on simmering. You don't really need to add any more crazy seasoning and all that stuff. And with this, mind you, I know we had these conversations on the show about talking about Dwayne Wade and Gabby and all that stuff about their child, but the thing is like, that's that person's life. And they're growing up to be in a society where they want to feel comfortable and safe. And figuring it's like, knowing you as a person is the best way to do. What is wrong with knowing anything? What's wrong with information? What's wrong with dialogue and proper conversations? It does not make sense to argue with it.
I don't think so. Let's talk. Because I don't think there's nothing wrong with information being disseminated. I think it's something wrong when I have to read it. Like, if
you don't have to read anything.
Listen. No. Hear me
Go.
out. Everything that I've been on YouTube, right? I've been on YouTube lately a lot, just trying to up my podcast game and up my the way I do things, trying to just learn some stuff. So everything is on there. Like, just this morning, I reset my phone. This is probably why stuff is acting crazy. There was a guy on there there was a girl on there that was transitioning to a male, but decided no, because the things that I'm going to share, and decided to detransition. So she's going back to, she went back and got her boobs done, and when got all this other stuff, And so, of course, when that thing shows up, 1,700 other things of that shows up. And that's not just relegated to that. That's anything. If I look up dogs being hit by a car, they'll populate that to that, right? However, I feel like when I walk in someplace, and if you have pamphlets there and that's something that interests me, I'll pick it up. But I feel like when you remove my normal and you replace it with that, and all we got to do is talk about it, and you putting this shit on bills, and you putting this stuff, like, you making me be involved in this. And honestly, I feel like I don't have that thinking. I don't know what that is. I don't hate on no one. I want everybody to have, and I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it again. I don't have no ill intent or ill thought of that information regarding gender. I just feel like that should be another one of those things. It just shouldn't be a focal point. You know what? I'm a fat black woman, and I feel like I don't have that everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I have 3 kidneys. I don't have that everywhere. Like, it's a lot of shit about, yeah, I do. I have 3 kidneys. That's not a joke.
All right, okay.
That's not a joke.
Okay,
No,
Time Lord. Okay.
No, but I feel like that type of information, I mean, it's one thing that we're focusing on. One thing. It's either race or gender, and that shit is old. Like, it's old.
It is old because based off of the mainstream media keeps promoting that narrative, in addition to the way politicians keep promoting that narrative. Mm-hmm. That is their main objective to get elected. It is like, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about the race situations. We need to talk about, the sex situation. We need to talk about this, and this. When especially like you said, race and sex, because the fact is like, well, there's a lot of multiple nationalities here in America, and there's 2 races. 2 genders. Male and female, but then they want to create this new one that no one figures out. So the thing is, like you said, is like you're saying you're being forced. You're not.
I didn't say forced.
Did I hear you wrong then?
I didn't say forced. I said, no, I don't think.
Okay,
because I don't feel like it's being forced. I don't feel like it's being forced.
Like the way you
it's replacing everything.
Okay,
like,
so that's what I'm saying. You're saying the fact that certain things are being replaced out of your normality.
Highlighted.
It
more
is
than
not,
others.
but the thing is, it's like, no, it is just being pushed up to the forefront.
Highlighted more than others, and why?
Why? Because again, sometimes things have been buried for so long. Others, yes, there are certain issues that have been stagnant, for many, many years. But then when it's something that's like been so deep down buried, and it figures like it's finally rising up to the surface and say, yo, we've been here way long. Either I want to say some say way longer than you, but then again, it'll say it's like, hey, we've been down here too. So yeah, it's getting to the forward.
No one said that they weren't. Like, that's a
yes,
you.
They have.
That's
yes,
a you
no,
thing.
no. That's no.
As a totality, like people that they're. As a general thing. Like, it's not general. There is a person that made you feel that way. There is a army that you wanted to join that you couldn't join, or there is a you couldn't really be as flamboyant. And I told you this before, and I stand 10 toes on that shit. I think that you want the outside to match what you feel, and I feel like do that shit.
But again,
but why is it a conversation? Because
here's the reason for the conversation. Because especially in the United States of America, that has been buried for a very long time, because the presentation of a red-blooded United States American is, especially a male one, is strong, and he's, loves women, and he's very machismo, that machismo and all that stuff, and that's what we've been presented for so damn long. Each inkling for the last several decades, even you can go back to several centuries, and with the birth of this country, there have been homosexual males around. They just again buried it. You don't hear it.
Would you be happier if the push was gay men in place of machismo and the red? Would you be happier if it was all gay men and no representation of machismo and red-blooded men, strong men? And would you be happier if it was? If
you reverse it, it will be all you're doing is reverse.
It's the same shit.
But it's the same thing. So my thing here's what I feel is like. No, the thing is like, I want to see your cards. I want to see everything, and let me choose. That's where I was getting with. Let me choose if I want to, support it, have conversations about it, things of that. Like, let me choose. The opportunity to choose is is fully increasing. For those who don't like another choice, yeah, they're the ones who are imposing it. They're the ones who are having problems with it. Because you're saying it's, oh, this is being forced on me, this is getting to the forefront. You keep saying that, but really it's like, it's there, it's showing you that it's there, but you don't have to engage.
But here's your thing. I'm going to prove you perfectly correct, because I don't have the right to choose. I don't. My right to decide has been taken away, because now this is a law. If I speak how I feel, if I felt another way, I will be condemned. I will be canceled. I will be probably locked up in jail. If anything, if I spoke highly of machismo and heterosexual men and said nothing about gay men, it all means that I don't like gays. That's not the truth. These people, when that starts to happen, we do start feeling away, because I'm going to say you, not you, but it is taken and believed to be, if you don't say this, you don't agree with it. I don't
that's
say
what
it.
That's just not only that. That's in everything else. No, but that is in everything else nowadays, because again, you got some very insensitive, very highly sensitive, let me correct that, highly sensitive people in social media. That's a social media thing, to where they want things to just like, hey, if you don't support this, you ain't this. If you don't support this, you ain't that. And it's just like, dude, I know what I am. I know what I believe in. So if I don't agree with it, we can have a nice civil debate about it. So my viewpoint has always been, to when I have debates, is I'm not looking to be the winner here. I'm looking to try to find a middle ground, to where I understand you understand me, and we're good. But you got these, like I said, highly sensitive people who feel like they want to be right constantly about certain things, and that's where this is. This is where social media comes in. I mean, mind you, I see on Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it, or Facebook or Instagram, about certain things that I look at. Like, I'll give you a perfect example, back to football. There's this guy who has this, on his Twitter, he keeps posting like, old school uniforms and all that stuff. And he's like, oh man, I miss this, I miss that. And it's like, I don't respond on occasion. I'll just look at it, it's like, yeah, they look cool. And I will, like if certain pictures are, but then when it comes to like, I wish this was coming back. And I was like, there's a reason why they changed it, because they want to be different. They want to upgrade their look. And I felt like certain old school looks, like everyone keeps praising the Tampa Bay's creamsicle shit. I think it's garbage. I'm glad they removed that. I mean, good grief.
It's nice to go back and forth.
It's nice to go back and forth, yes.
As the world goes,
yes.
Oh, this new one was new.
Right, but don't make it. But the thing is, it's like there's nothing wrong of having, sort of like a little glimpse of the past, a little glimpse. I don't want to go back to the colonized days. I don't.
None of us do.
No one does. But for some odd reason, a lot of people has this crazy narrative to wanting to go back there. For whatever reason, they felt like, oh, things were simpler times. Back to the orange peel, same deal. That's what it is. Move it up. He'd rather go back to the days of either the 80s, because that's where he made all his money, and all his shit was that no one knew about, was kind of like underground, until he stupidly became president, knowing full well, it's like, yo, once you become a politician, everything is exposed. Or he wants to go back to the days when his dad was running shit, and figures like, hey, we run this town, and black people ain't shit and all that stuff. That's where their mindset, and they want to expose that narrative. The thing is here is what we're trying to say is, I have no problem of certain things coming to light. And if you want to engage on it, it is really your choice. Even though, like I said, you can disagree, shake your head, and shake your booty, and then say and not worry about it. But really, it's just like, you have the honestly, you do. And if some people coming at you insensitively, saying in fact, like, well, if you don't agree with this, you ain't shit. And it's like, well, that's your opinion, because I'm going to keep it moving this way, because I don't agree with what you're saying, because usually it's a small minority group who are bitching, complaining about that you don't agree what they're agreeing with.
This is, and those people I discount. I don't countenance them.
Right, that's what you should.
I don't, but I feel like as a whole, as a whole, there is an agenda. And what upsets me is that you are not, well, my machismo, my bravado laden men, they're not represented anymore. They're not. And I feel like when they are being represented, then it's being talked about. There has to be a one up. And honestly, I want to see what I want to see. And you know what? You do have that chance. You do not. You will not turn on the TV and you will not find the positive bravado of the black male represented. You will not, because what they're replacing it with is the gay man. Everything is a gay man. Everything, they want to feminize our men. They want to do a whole bunch of this, and that's what's being represented. You know how I know? Because I'm out here in these streets. I'm out here, like, it's hard for us. It really is hard for women who only like men, heterosexual men. It's hard because you're wondering, like, now, what does that even look like? Because even the appearance of strong black men or strong heterosexual black men is being blurred. It's being blurred. These jeans all skinny and shit. You can see their nipples through their shirts. You can count how many sperm is running around in their testicles. That's how tight their jeans are. And to me, I have a problem with that.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
I don't have a problem. And I feel like that, honestly, that type of dress was relegated to men who are effeminate. They don't have to be gay, but men who are effeminate. And honestly,
okay. Let me ask this question. Siren. Yeah, let me ask this question. Okay. So, if you say that, what about, based off of clothes, especially the modern day where guys have saggy pants and all that stuff? Wasn't that based off of being, they're saying it was based off of being in prison, how they
saggy pants?
Yeah, and especially exposing, their.
That thing, yeah, and I don't even agree with that. Like, your whole booty out, you a man. You a man?
Right?
Why you showing your booty?
Yeah.
I find that is classless. I think women too. I never had my ass out like that unless it was time to yap me. I just didn't do that, and I don't knock those who do. But now let's talk about females, because that's all we see now. We see when you see women take pictures, I give everybody homework. When you see women on social media take pictures, the first thing they do is they do this. The first thing they do, they turn around, they do a whole bunch of this, and my topic on that is coming up. They do a whole bunch of that, and that is that's been replaced. Like the classier woman that men are trying to look for, you can't find it because trash is winning. And I'm gonna tell you, my whole brief summation of this is this: if you want to if you want the racism thing to stop talking about it. Because when you talk about it, it trends. You can identify it's an issue and have some solutions or some resolutions. I said, but when you're talking about it, it becomes something. The thing with gender, you want that shit to slow up, stop talking about it, because it gives people are number watchers. You look at it and you say, dang. You look at how many people follow you because you're gay, and then now this, or how many people follow you because you're transitioning, and that's a monetary gain. Same thing with race. If you get beat up and you go on TV and you put your story on TV and that shit gets viral, guess what? Everybody involved who sees the numbers that is I got a blank. The numbers that's trending or populating, now I'm doing the same thing. We do what we see. So to me, when stuff is shown less, when stuff is talked about less, then you don't have the issue. Racism is a problem because we talk about it so much. So people make it one. And everything is about race. I don't believe everything is about race. Some shit is about race. Everything is not about gender, but a majority of things are about gender. And I just don't get it, because all the shit that we got in America to be consumed with, that's the thing that we stick on. Flint ain't got no clean water. You know what I'm saying?
Again,
carjacking motherfuckers left and right.
Again, this is where it's a full circle when it comes to political talk or political aspirations, because as good Lord. See, you're forcing me to try to see. That's bad advertising.
And just imagine if this all I did all show. That's all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The thing is like, yes, there are a lot more bigger problems in the world than, or let's say for the United States of America, than dealing with a potential race war or potential gender war or whatever. But then again, it is part of this narrative that we've created for many years. Because nothing, like I said, nothing has been fully exposed on the table because we want to keep certain things down, don't want to talk about it, but when it comes to time to talk about it, everyone can't handle it because either A, you buried it so much you don't know what it was there in the first place, or B, you're sort of like, it's like, you feel like it's like, look, you've been wrong for all this, we'll burn you to the stake and we will out you for whatever you are, so that way we'll never see you again. And then I felt like, no, what is wrong with having a nice civil discussion if you have the informational weapons to handle that discussion? The majority of these politicians don't. The reason why there's still bad water in Flint, because the politicians there don't know how to handle that situation at all.
It will never trend as high as gender.
Yes, it won't trend. Because, again, you're looking at, because...
That was a global thing. That thing
True.
was global. Remember, let's go back, because it's been 10 years. It's been arguably 10 years when celebrities, this and that, everybody chimed in. You know why? Because it was everywhere. The people's attention and it made it populate. They made it trend. And it was a thing to go and help these people because they part of what we are. However, over time, that's been replaced. And just like you say, certain shit has risen and certain things have fallen. And that is very sad as people still live in that city, a.k.a. my entire family.
I'll give you the better example than that. You and I know, around this time frame, remember Band-Aid?
Yeah.
If they know what's Christmas?
Yeah.
That song? Okay. That big trend, that sparked everything, about helping. One, it was Ethiopia, based off of the videos and pictures of what was going on over there. And all of a sudden, it sparked to do Live Aid about 2 years later. And Live Aid was, again, we supporting an entire continent. We all the world and all that stuff. Mind you, we're just like, that was pretty much I felt the last time everyone came together about something, important. You had it, especially the two countries that, took everything, all the resources out of that continent. And like I said, that continent, even though it sparked with one country in northern Africa, to be honest with you. No one not knowing the fact of how the rest of the other countries there were like, oh, okay, they love us, I guess. And Nigerians are like, what the hell? Anyway. Yes. It's like, we're doing good here. What is going on? But my point is the fact, since then, almost 40 years ago, you don't hear about it anymore. Because they figured it's like, oh, we solved the problem. That's how they view things when things are finite when it comes to certain things that were done. With Flint, it was like, hey, people sent the water bottles. People, they're talking about it, and we figure it's like they're talking about fixing the pipes and all. We figure it's like, oh, okay, based off of social media standards, we figure that situation's handled. Good, it's done. Let's talk about something else. So it's not only in addition to short attention span, it's also the feels like based off of what is exposed as the possible solution to something, but still it's like if it's still a problematic, like you said, there's still no clean pipes there, and no one's talking about it, but everyone thinks it's like, well, I kid you not, you'll probably hear people say it's like, well, wait a minute, I thought they already fixed this. And it's like, no, it's still a problem.
I get that all the time.
Right.
I'm having a shirt made that says that we ain't still ain't got no clean water.
So again, if you're not living there you're not living there, of course you're not. You figure it's like everything is done
because you rely
on a certain standard of information from outside of the actual main source.
Social media,
right?
And guess who knows that? The powers that be. Cornell said, you definitely these days don't have a real representation of a black male. They rather show you a more strong black women than black men, than a black man.
Okay, well, blame Tyler Perry, because he pointed that out very bluntly on his, plays and shows and all that stuff. I felt like, look, your best example is not what you see on a screen, a silver screen, or a 52-inch television screen.
70.
Or okay.
Inches matter. 70.
The best example, and unfortunately for many, I don't see it often, is the parental figure. If you have if you want to see a strong black man, if you have a father that is there, that is your best example. It was, I'll say forever, is.
Yeah, mine is.
Yes. So, and
but those type of men, they're categorized too. Like those strong
they can
men.
be categorized all they want, but they're gonna stand their ground and say this is who they are, and I'll defend that. It's like this is my father.
That's who he is.
That's who he is, and he'll forever be that. And it's like, even though I'll disagree with certain ideology he has, and that's something to where a lot of people wouldn't mind having, but that's between me and my father. So, but it's like everyone will say this, like, oh, you remind me of your father. It's like based off of what? Either A, looks, because I was told that the picture I had on my Facebook, everyone asked me, it's like, oh, did you serve? And because I had a picture of my dad in his Marine outfit, and I was like, nope, but thank you. But the thing is the fact that we may look alike, we may have some mild mannerisms, but we're two different people. So, and that's what people, I think, a lot of got to understand that. But based off of this conversation is like, but he's the figure that I think that's what a lot of people need to see. Now, if for those who don't, see their father on a daily basis or even a yearly basis in that aspect, then I do feel sorry for you, because of the simple fact is like, because now you're basing what a man should be off of social media or whatever medium that you consume it by.
And how the fuck did that end up being? Like, men are men. Like,
true, but
not
all
a
men
man should be, because it is what it is. Like, we're being ridiculed for now representing your sons in blue, representing your daughters in pink. We're being ridiculed for calling my male lady a male lady. We have to call her a male person. We're being ridiculed for things. And
again, are you being ridiculed, or you feel like you're being ridiculed? You if you think that way, then I feel like why can't
I call my male lady a male lady? Why can't she be that? Why can't the woman who got titties and a kid and a womb, why can't I call her my male lady? Because that word has been removed. That they put that on paper. They are now called male persons. Because somebody was mad that somebody called identified the lady's gender. The fuck?
Again, everything that you see now, there's a politician, or pretty much is a politician. It has something up their butt about certain things that they want to change or get rid of or whatever. And like I said, there's as everyone likes to call it, an agenda. To change certain things, to smooth out certain things. Honestly, I felt like it's something to me. It's like, I'm going to still call a male person a male man.
Yeah.
Or just as like deliverer. Or I'll just say it's even simpler. Just say deliverer.
What's the word?
Deliverer.
What is it?
Deliverer.
What is?
You keep ringing the bell. I don't know why.
So you don't find it odd that. Or annoying, or does it?
No.
No. Let me ask you a question. You don't find it odd and or annoying that people have to say biological man, biological woman? What?
I do
Why
not.
do we have to?
I do not need to add extra letters or syllables into an adjective of somebody. I just is like, I just don't. If you, I mean, well, like I said, I was at Exotica. I met some people, dressed in either drag or seemed transgender, and it's like, respectfully. This is like just just respectfully, nod or just wave or whatever, or just keep walking by, and so you can see your next female porn star. I mean, it's pretty much your choice. You keep saying you don't have choices. You don't be. You say that, but really you keep saying that, but really it depends on who you're dealing with. That's forcing you to.
It's not forcing you. Okay.
You keep saying that you're not, but based off of what you're saying, it is.
You might deduce that I'm saying forced. I'm careful not to use that word because I don't believe it's being forced. How I believe is that they narrow in the lanes. You know how when you get ready, the beltway is being worked on, and you start seeing the cones, and they directing you towards a thing. They directed me towards the thing. They got the fucking cones out, directed me towards the thing. And guess what? And when I get in this lane, this one too. They narrow in my way.
But
and that's and what's in front of me is what they want me to see or be at.
But here's the thing. You may say that we'll take this little narrative you just stated. It's like, even though you feel like you're being forced into this one lane, there's a point in time where it'll open up, expand.
When? Because I'm waiting.
No, you think you be there forever.
I'm waiting. It feels like forever.
You feel like it's forever.
For
me, it's like I could. It depends on how you want to drive it, because if you feel like it's like if you seem like you're forced to stay in this lane, but you're not seeing everything, the other lanes that probably have been opened. That's where I'm getting at, because the main thing is like, hey, we just want to. If you come in this little lane for a minute, once you come out of it, you'll see a whole bunch of other lanes that will expand your mind to the point where it's like, okay, you have a better understanding of why you were in this lane for even the way you say maybe forever. But for other people who have a more open mindset, will probably say, hey, I get you. And then you carry on and you decide which path you want to go after that.
My mindset is open. It's open.
Is it? Because again,
I feel like because I'm not saying what I'm saying to you, and you have a feeling about this already. So I feel like your deduction is that I'm not open minded. I really am. I'm
not pointing out you because I'm not pointing out you. But based off of the example you gave, you probably presenting for other people. There are other people who you made an example of that, driving scenario has that thing. They view that it's like they feel like they're being directed towards this path, and this is the path that they have to stay on. But really, it's like, no, it is just it's a little slight insertion, a detour to where by the time you get out of it, you'll see a multi other lanes to you can make any decision you want to. You want to either stay on this path or swerve back to where you want to go back on.
I want to do it unmolested, and I want to do it without consequence. That's what I want to do. The same way I'm going to give you. I'm going to parallel this. And then I hope you can.
Hey, for anybody who wants to learn about driving, there's Leap down the quarter office here. So
I'm going to parallel this. I feel like I'm over the conversation of gender. I'm just over it. Like I really am. And I'm over the race conversation. Just over it. Not that it's going anywhere. I'm just over the conversation. Like I'm over the focus. I was over Travis Kelce and what's her name? I was over
Taylor
them.
Swift.
I didn't want to say her name. I was over that, and I feel like that's forever. That was forever for me to watch this. And people who really, really like the sport, I'm not yelling. The people who really like the sport and they really watch it to gain whatever they gain from watching their team play, that was a distraction, and it was forever. And the lane did open up, but I'm sure when you was watching, he's like, "What in the fuck is this bitch?" I'm sure.
I'll give you. Okay, you said that. Here's the thing.
Yes.
I think it was the Thursday night game for the Chiefs. After I think it was like the third week, they revealed Kelce and Taylor Swift were hooking up. So that moment, I felt like it's like, okay, I was already done. I was okay after, pretty much all the networks, all three, the major, who covered, like Fox had their bit, CBS had their bit, and now Amazon had their bit. So, and I felt that it's like, okay, all three networks got it, keep it moving. And they did. I felt like it's like, because my main focus is like seeing her celebrate with, Patrick Mahomes' wife and all that stuff is like, okay, we get it. I'm in the business to where, I do sports covers like this. And I felt like it's like, okay, as a producer, I would have just like did it once and move on. Because here's the thing, because when they do show, they don't go to the owner's box all the time to show focus on the owner, unless, especially it's like around the Super Bowl or whatever. Yeah. They only show it once. Here, if you show it multiple times, as a producer, or it's like, if I was like an executive, for young executives nowadays in television, if it's, this is great, we're getting exposure for Taylor, blah blah blah. It's not helping your product. It really isn't, because the majority of football fans, like yourself, got annoyed. So the point is the fact of like, as a producer, the main thing is show them once and move the fuck on. If you keep showing them constantly going back there because you feel like this is great for, whatever, all the Swifties and all, it's like, no. That's where let the social media things handle that shit. We'll just like, she's in the building, call it a day. When your boy Romo was dating, what's her name? They only showed her once. Simpson. Yeah, Jessica Simpson. It was like, show it once, that was it.
You're proving my point. Show it once and let's move on.
Yeah. So that's the solution. So
again, like I'm saying, you're proving my point, and I thank you for proving my point. Show it once.
Yeah, just show it once and keep it moving.
Okay.
That's what you're gonna do. Keep moving.
I got a new segment, y'all, called "People We Ain't Taking Into 2024." Here's my list. Feel free to agree or disagree. No, matter of fact, put in the chat, agree or disagree. You can call me.
And the numbers are open.
The number is 301-761-1040. People that we ain't taking into 2024. Number 1 on my list is Charleston White. Done with him. You know what Charleston White is?
No.
Charleston White is a YouTuber who says anything out of his motherfucking mouth. Excuse my French. Anything. He is a troll. He's smart, but he played a troll role. And if you look him up, can you look him up and just show the picture of him? So anyone who I want him to stay behind. Number 2.
Say his name again.
Charleston White. Please. And we're gonna pull up his thing. I like Charleston White, but I don't like how much notoriety he's getting because he says things to say them. Like he's very smart, but he's not using it. He's using his smarts to gain money and fame and fortune. However, some of the shit you look crazy. Like I like him, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm entertained by him for sure, and I watch a lot of stuff that he puts up. But yeah, it's over. It's kind of over with that. Number 2, and 3 and 4, because they all in the same house. Blueface, Krishan, and they baby. Leave him back. Just leave him alone. Leave him back. Sexy Red, her booty hole, her brown booty hole.
All right, so here's Charleston White, just before you should continue. So.
That's Charleston White.
All right.
Let's leave him behind.
And
let's leave Ratchet Bitch Displays in 2023. And fentanyl. Let's leave fentanyl in 2023. Do you have anything that you would not want to take into 2024? Oh, the gender talk too. Let's leave that. Leave that.
I would like to leave Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, and any other dumbass Republican, who has no ideology about progression for America, because they have no solutions whatsoever. I would like to keep in 2023 the college football playoff, this current college football playoff, because it's a piece of shit. Because all you're doing is exposing the same teams over and over again, and there's no proper advancement, even though next year it'll be expanded, but it's set up for the same way.
Okay.
And the other is I'm gonna put myself on here. The Swifties and the Beehive. Your movies ain't shit. I'm gonna say it once. I'm gonna say it again.
You meant that.
I meant that because here's the thing. This weekend, I'll be seeing it on Wednesday. My King, Godzilla should be number one. You damn stupid Beehivers. That movie ain't shit. You could have saw that on HBO, which apparently, if I remember correctly, she had a damn documentary about it on HBO years ago.
She did.
Yeah, so pretty much this is nothing new. So mind you, you guys could, get yourself out of those theaters, put My King back on multiple theaters because My King deserves this shine. Because this weekend, honestly, actually this entire month, this -1 movie is out. It's the highest grossing Japanese movie ever that has been seen in American soil. Its likelihood to be nominated for an Oscar, not that Beyonce Renaissance movie or a Taylor Swift movie. And also top of that, the new Empire trailer came out. Monarch is everyone's liking that shit. My King deserves its praise. All hail Godzilla.
Do you agree with my list by any means?
I agree with it. I think I have no qualms with it. None at all.
I just I kind of want twerking to be behind the over
that. I think twerking. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's overdone, but then again, it's like, hey, people will be doing it. So
speaking of overdone, these BBLs, stop. Just less is more. Like get your shit done, but let's leave this body, whatever this body shape is, this ant thing. Let's leave this in 23. Let's leave that.
Okay. True, I agree. I mean, if you have, especially for the black women, I mean, it's like if you're naturally like that, it's like, call me. But if you have to go down, to the whatever Caribbean island to get it done, I feels like, no, just stay who you are. Find your inner self before you try to change your outer self.
Well, I don't want because I'm gonna have some work done at some point in my life. I am. Get these. Thanks, Grandma. These arms got to go. But I don't knock people who have surgery. I just think the overworking. And honestly, give men a variety. You men don't miss variety. Like, give men a variety. Everybody has the same exact shape. It is like a conveyor belt. These women, they're going to be just like her. And when I look at everybody, there's no fun. There's no excitement in seeing women, especially in this area. I don't know about Philly. I don't know about Atlanta. I don't know about Texas or Wyoming or Idaho. But I know in this area, all the same hairstyles, all the same clothes, all the same body shape, and the men too. They all do the same exact thing. We need some variety. Just need some. Would you rather? Would you rather be more women and men or DC women and men?
What?
Would you rather Baltimore men, for you, but I'm saying this so everybody can hear it, Baltimore women and men or DC women and men? Which would you rather?
So I have Baltimore women or DC women?
Or DC women. I'm going to cause a divide here.
I don't know. I know they're different.
Mm-hmm.
They're very different with their attitudes and stuff. But DC women have a mile more sophistication than hoodish. I mean, I got nothing against Baltimore. I'll go to Fairfax. I don't care.
You're like, well, that's not a choice.
I mean, I just like, to me, because they're kind of the same, but a little different. That's how
Fairfax is not on here. So
I know Fairfax is on there. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like they're kind of the same, but a little different. But based off of travel time, I would say DC.
Okay. Siren wanted to add let's leave challenges like the good knees and all that challenge back in.
Yeah,
in
all the
23.
challenges are boring. So
Yeah, they were
pointless.
boring, and I'm over it. Fried turkey or a baked turkey? Which would you rather? In honor of this season.
Yes, this season. I think I have no problem with fried. I mean, because I rarely have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
KFC pot pies or Marie Collander's? You ever had Marie
I
Collander's?
know what Marie Collander's is,
Okay.
but I never tried their fried. I like their pot pies. Is that what you did? Pot pies?
Yes.
As their pot pies?
KFC has a pot pie.
Yeah, I know that.
That is supposed to be the best, and then Marie Collander's with everybody. She was the KFC.
Yeah.
So which one?
My constant go-to is Marie Callender's chicken and mushroom pot pie. I will go that every time.
Okay. Which would you rather? Peeps or candy corn?
Neither.
Why don't you like
Or
Peeps?
neither.
Why don't you like Peeps or candy
Peeps
corn?
are nasty to taste. Candy corn gets stuck into my teeth, and I don't like that taste. I do not pick
Peeps
neither.
don't have a taste though.
That's the thing. There is a mild weird taste that I tried
I think
it once.
it's the dye. The dye.
Yeah,
tastes
that's what it
funny.
is. So I just don't.
And those eyes taste something.
Yeah.
Those eyes.
So
are
I don't
wild
like them.
fruit, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Carpet versus finished floors.
Well, if you ever come to the studio, Ty, the outside of our studio, we have we removed the carpet and put in furnished floor, and there's possible plans of doing it here. So, actually, I've grown to like furnished floors. I really think there's a reason. Carpets. I don't know what it is nowadays, but really, it's difficult to maintain and stuff like that, and especially if you're spilling things and all that stuff, and you try to use every known darn, cleaner to remove that spot, and all it does is either make it bleached out or what have you. So I rather have a furnace floor just quick, sweep up or suck up and call it a day.
What would that do in here with the sound? That's the off question. But does that do anything with the?
It'll change a little bit, but if you put hardcore furnishing, but I think you'll still have to pad it in some form or fashion. Being in studios, there's a hard floor is not that bad. But I think if you go to any recording studio, it's some are carpet and some are hard floor, but the acoustics will change. I know that for a fact.
So, Batman states, coming from Baltimore, I have to say Baltimore women. DC dudes for conversation and DC dudes are more emotional. Tweety said fried turkey, and she doesn't like candy corn or Peeps. Fried jerk turkey says, that's good. That is fire. Hey, what's up, Zoe? And Siren said, fried, haven't had KFC, never liked Peeps, don't like carpet.
What, you don't have a bush?
No! My cousin Nene said the sour Peeps. They got sour Peeps? She said the sour Peeps are delicious. They got sour Peeps?
No
Okay.
Peeps here.
Hardwood says Siren. I'm old school. I like carpet, Blackout said. Plush carpet, well manicured, says Batman. I have both. I like both. I like the finished floor look. I just don't like the dust bunnies that congregate for no freaking reason. I don't like if you don't keep that floor up and get it done and all that stuff, because I lived in a little crappy apartment before, right? Thank God for my crappy apartment, but I lived there and they had hardwood floors and they were dope as hell. And my neighbor, Virginia, may she rest in peace. That's what she named herself. Her name was Virginia, but she would pronounce it Virginia. Miss Virginia showed me how to keep my floors up, and they were beautiful, but they're cold, and I don't have the money to have heated, so which is why I would prefer carpet.
Well,
I like the look of hardwood.
My mom's place, it's hardwood, but she has carpets, in various areas in her house. So, like, especially particularly in her living room area and her dining area. So, that way, of course it'll be cold, but if you have it in those particular certain areas, it'll be warm enough spot for you. So
like a throughway or something, I don't mind. But
I just coming out.
It's
just like roll out carpet and things like that. But the key thing is you have to maintain that. because if you main focus is just like, okay, I just have it here and all that stuff, and it's just my thing is I want to on Facebook I always watch these cleaning their carpets and all that stuff. And I would like to do that for my mom because these carpets that we've had for years, and I know for well they haven't been cleaned. Yeah.
Would be a difference. Okay, here's something called Let That Sink In. Ready? Jackson 5 were Jehovah's Witnesses, and they made Christmas songs. So this, why are you saying this, Kiki? Because if you're gonna do some RICO shit, I think the RICO law, they should go back and get them. Like you were pushing out. There was an agenda there.
What agenda? They needed to make money.
They couldn't make Jehovah's Witness songs.
Name a Jehovah's Witness song because I never heard one. It's just like the Lord is coming to your house so we can knock you down. I mean, what? I mean, I've never heard one.
I don't know, but isn't that wrong? You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be like. I think Satanists would be so pissed off if we just jumped up and made like a whole Satan song. Like, no.
Satanists, shoot. You know how many heavy metal bands have been called Satanists? It is just like, dude, they're just making music. That's all it is.
So this is right. This is right. You think?
Yeah, it's just like, shoot, how else are you gonna pay the bills? Especially if we got Joe Jackson telling you to, sing it right, damn Tito. I told you, it's a silent night, holy night,
Okay, I just think it's funny how. So y'all canceled everybody for voting and wearing MAGA hats, and now y'all voting for Trump. This shit's stupid.
Wait,
so they need
say
to go
it again.
back.
Say that again.
I just think it's funny how y'all cancel any and everybody for voting and wearing MAGA hats, and now y'all voting for this dude. Make that
No,
make
they're
sense.
the same people. It's the same. I don't think he's gotten any newer people voting for him. I
no, black people is look. We lined up around the corner.
I don't know what you're seeing, but honestly, I think based on
a segment on this.
I do not. I don't think there's a lot of people.
There
are those who are staying put. Even the 4 years that he really fucked up everything, they say there's staying put. But as of newer people, I doubt that. I really doubt that.
I need you to do some homework, Playboy.
I know there's I know there was, the battle, 71 million less than, going against Biden. But the thing is like, I really doubt that there's newer people, especially black folks, want to vote for that knucklehead who'll probably be going to jail by next year.
Our niggas are niggering, and what we're doing is the comparison game. We're looking at how Sleepy Joe Biden is doing, and I'm just calling. I don't think he's Sleepy Joe, but that's what they call him. They're Sleepy Joe Biden. They're looking at a job that's being done or not being done, and they're looking around at whomever is on the roster, and they're looking at it as though Trump is a better candidate, and our niggas is niggering. When that Bama was when he was coming to New York to be sequestered, and he was going to be, remember he had to turn himself in. Guess who was outside? Your cousins them. We was like,
my cousins.
My cousins them was outside, and everybody is saying vote for Trump. We did a segment here where we brought up the video where they were saying Trump for 24. They were saying it.
Get it, but again, I really believe, like I said, I view it as, I really think it's I would say the same people who were there in 2016. I don't think but I just think that
with a few more, they got some cousins.
If they did, I'll be again. Like you said earlier, they probably got swerved, those cones, swerving in that narrative, and they just focus on it's like, yes, Trump is the dude, but really it's like, again, if this is all we got, that's your problem. I know there's other better candidates out there.
One, I think our people like that check that we got. I didn't get it, but the check that was disseminated, that all the money he was giving out, and then you start to look at a lot of his policies, and you get rid of how you feel about him.
What policies? Name one, because he didn't do anything. He rode the coattail of what Obama did took out whatever because he felt like, oh, I'm going to try to make my own, but never replaced it. To this day, he never did anything except all he did was he everything was built for him, and he just knocked it down right down its foundation to the point where he's not
preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
I am not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to find an out for people.
There is no out for them. I told
it's a reach for. I'm reaching.
No, you're reaching for a person who's sinking down with the Jack, with the Titanic, because yes. So honestly, no. Trump is. If we keep going back to that route, I'll be surprised, because it's ridiculous to go back, because he doesn't do anything. He didn't want the job. Honestly, he really doesn't. It's all this is an act, and he knows it. And
I encourage you, in your leisure, just look around. You can Google it. Yeah, Google's your friend. Look around and just see how many of your cousins now is in this line. And I was told to tell you that you're about to be canceled talking about the Beehive like that. So this is
I got my raid, so I don't care. I'll be fine.
Cornell says peeps and candy corn is nasty and carpet keeps more bacteria. And they said it as a rot. They said it has a rise in black voters for Trump. See, he also knows it. He knows it as well.
I think those people have been watching too much Life of the Rich style, Rich and Famous, because that's all. I know Trump. If you're, I'm not saying being what Biden said years ago or even Hillary said. If you vote for Trump, you'll die or whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's like, I know this man since the 80s. This guy does not know how to run anything right.
I agree with you.
So, and if you cannot see that, and you're going to vote for either again, or wanting to vote for him again, because he still has to go through the Republican slot first, then I feel sorry for you, your mindset, because and the way you want this country to go, because honestly, he's not the right person for it. Now, I'm not saying Biden is the right choice either, because I felt like he came into the point where it's like the Democrats needed another heavyweight to go against Trump. I got that. All right. We did that, move on. But the point is like, I want Trump in jail. This guy's just got cancer for society. And Biden, look, if he can survive another 4 more years, great. If not, Kamala. I want Kamala to.
Who was that?
If you don't like Kamala, that's your choice.
I did not. I don't know. I don't know. I ain't seen her in 2 years. I don't.
Again,
in 3 years.
I don't. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and
I forgot who she is.
Okay, I'm going to say this before we move on. Okay. A vice president. The reason why you don't see him is there's a reason for it, because they're the second commander in chief.
Did you
see Biden a lot when Obama was president?
Yes.
Where?
At those things. At
events.
And we don't see her.
Again, you see Obama and Biden at certain events. Yes. Do you need to hear him often? No, you don't.
You don't hear her ever. So knock it off.
What's the point to talk? Have a conversation.
We need to know you still there, like for real.
She's there.
How you know? You got any proof? I'm not a yeller. You got proof?
She works at the Senate. So she's constantly there. She's there. She works. She's going to where certain events she needs to go to. She's there. She's going to certain countries where Biden can't go to. She's there. You don't need to hear about her all the time.
We don't see that either.
What do you need? She don't need to be fully exposed all the time.
Look,
I follow her on Twitter, so I know where she's doing.
I'm
cool.
following her page, and that thing.
Hey, they can tell us feed me all you want. It's like, hey, she's there. She's there. She's telling me that her and her husband had a great Thanksgiving. That's cool.
Pork pies. Pork pies. You know what pork pies are, right?
So, continue on.
Knock it off. We need to stop this shit. Naming your kids anything. Now, Grimes and Elon Musk's son, his name is XAEX-X small I. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's his name. His daughter, her name is Exadark Sidriel, EXA Dark SIDERAEL, and guess what they call her? They call her Y, the letter. In December 2021, a young son named Tecmo Mechanicus, they call him Tao. And then this is some nigga shit. The coldest to ever do it, Crawford. D-E.
Wait, say that again?
The coldest to ever do it, to ever. T-O-E-V-A-D-O-I-T. The coldest. His name is spelled D-E apostrophe capital C-O-L-D-E-S-T. The coldest Crawford. Stop this shit. Stop it. He initially made because he plays for LSU. He initially made headlines and trended on social media for his name, and now he's fully getting recognition because he balling the fuck out.
Okay, if he can ball, that's great. But okay, I thought Blanket Jackson was bad, but okay. I mean nowadays, and mind you, Elon Musk, I guess he likes the letter X for some odd reason because he has it on everything.
I want to show you, like the way I spelled that out. That's the way it is, and it's spaced out. It's not even like a whole name. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm gonna have to go and ask Google to do it. Google, how do you pronounce? Look, he's responding to. Hey Google. Okay, you can sue for anything. And we talk about it all the time. Tone always talks about it. Guess what? Taco Bell is being sued over amount of meat and beans in the Mexican pizzas and crunch wraps. A New York man is suing Taco Bell and for false advertising, saying that the California-based company isn't making many of his menu items the way they are pictured in advertisements. I ain't mad at him. I hope he win. Because that Whopper, and don't be Whoppering when I get it.
Again, it's difficult to win those type of cases because of the fact like you're basing off of a visual advertisement where it's a portrayal of what you be getting, but you're complaining against a local establishment that created it.
A franchise.
Franchise. Not even franchise, just a local, whatever you can say franchise. Yeah, locally making it.
But to me, you're supposed to have a standard. Like
there is a standard.
You're
yes,
gonna
there
get on a Big Mac. You're gonna get 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese on a sesame seed bun. You're gonna get that. You're not. It's pickles too. You're not gonna get no sesame seeds. You're not gonna get one pickle
unless you're in Badals.
There's a standard.
But there is a standard. Yes, there is a standard. But the thing is like either A, you can have it your way, or B,
get whatever the fuck we get.
Yeah. Because based off of what ingredients they have at the time. So
this is like Temu. You just I'm ordering this. Mm-hmm. What they sent me was this.
Right.
Like no, you should be able to.
You should. Yes, I do agree. Unless he gave you a completely different item, I would understand the complaint. But if they created the way, it may not be created the way that you visualed it. But they still created the way it was that diagram for them to prepare for it. So it will be difficult. Like I said difficult. I'm not saying he will win or lose.
Okay.
I'm just saying it will be difficult for him to win it.
Okay. Cornell said, I seen where he's talking about bringing back Obamacare.
He can say that all he wants, but really he ain't going to do shit with it.
Okay. Another thing, too. The guy who sued Buffalo Wild Wings for the boneless things.
Yeah, I heard about that. Wings, which are pretty much nuggets.
They're nuggets.
Yeah.
Okay, right or wrong. The kid in you that didn't have a lot growing up is raising and spoiling your kids, giving your kids everything you didn't have. Right or wrong?
For a good majority, yes.
Want me to repeat that?
No. I heard you. I do agree with that. I think there's a lot of people who gave you probably had whatever little amount, whatever, even though you were given a lot, especially our age group, because the 80s were king. And then you feel like you've been whatever, and you give it to your kids, and you give them pretty much the world, and you look how they're acting now in their 20s, spoiled brats. For no reason, because you didn't have control on keeping things back. So, yeah, I do agree with that.
There's a lady trending on IG, that's where I found it at, that works 3 jobs so that she can give her son $1,000 a month allowance to keep up with his luxury lifestyle. And somewhere in there, it was the deduction was made that she was giving him, or the notion was made that she was giving him everything that she didn't have. And I think I never did that. I felt like, and I'm gonna probably lose you with this because you like things to progress. I feel like my parents gave me what they did, decided or understood me to have or wanted me to have, and I didn't feel no way about it. Like, we all want things, and if you can't have it, you can't have it. But I turned out a better person having heard no, because I now am amongst a bunch of young people who, when you tell them no, the kids flip out, the kids shoot you in the face. Like, they don't know how, and I don't, young people, why aren't you saying no? I don't understand.
No, like I said, we're in that age group. We're the parents of this mess. Yeah. We are, because again, for whatever reason, we felt like we got neglected. We didn't get everything we wanted, but very much we did. I felt like I did. I mean, I got to do a lot more things got more things out of than I would any normal kid would probably have. And for some odd reason, give that to your, to send that down to your other kids, giving them extra more without, like you said, saying no, because I believe the main factor is you don't want to hear crying. You don't want to hear, the complaining and all that stuff. I really think that's the problem. You felt like, I really think certain people have issues with the sense of fact of not disappointing their child, in any way, shape, or form. That's in their mind. I believe in their mindset.
Yeah,
but
that's
really
crazy, because that's all you get in the world.
Yeah, you figure like.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Like, your first no being told by somebody, you flip out and fall out, or you beat somebody. Like, they're violent.
Hello, Donald J. Trump. You don't believe that? He's the type of person, he's the best example that all you black folks want to keep trying to vote him in back for, is a spoiled brat who feels like it's like, oh, this can't happen to me. It's like, no, you can't have this. And once he hears the no, what he does, he complains, he cries, whines, and all that stuff is like, oh, he acts like a victim. And that's the thing. Everyone keeps acting like a victim when someone says, no, you can't have this.
People, please tell your kids no, because I'm going to. I kind of had that experience at my job. There was a young guy that works there, and he asked me for something, and I surmise that he has never been told no, because the way that he looked at me and the way he doesn't speak to me to this day, behind a choice that I made, it wasn't even about work. Like, you asked me about something personal, and I'm like, no, I'm not giving you that. This Batman to this day don't speak to me. And I kept saying, my coworker brought up the fact, he got an ankle monitor on. I said, I don't care nothing about that. To me, I tried to have a conversation with him, and he never let me off the hook from that. I don't give a shit. But for this conversation's purpose, I had to bring that up. I thought that shit was crazy. She was crazy. A restaurant in Georgia has drawn condemnation for instituting a bad parenting fee for adults that bring poorly behaved children to the premises. In addition to noting that there is a gratuity of 20% added to parties over 6 and a share charge of $3. The fine print at the bottom of the menu reads, adult surcharge for adults unable to parent. Right or wrong?
Ring the bell. Just ring the bell.
Ring the bell?
Yes, because I agree with that. Honestly, it's
about time.
Yes, I felt like, especially in certain establishments, like I wouldn't say fine scale restaurants, but I really think I've had this, when I heard that story and I had conversations about that. It's like remembering the days of Red Lobster before it became whatever it is now.
Yes.
So
it's not Red Lobster no more.
No, it's still Red Lobster.
Oh,
it's just the way you enter it. It's just like you had to dress up for it.
You did.
Yes.
I remember my mom. Yes.
Yeah. So now you can dress up any way you want. So but naked. But
church too.
Yeah. So I felt like, if you're gonna bring your badass kids and you can't discipline them, all that stuff, and your server has to, dealing with that as well. I mean, it's a stress factor, because it is like, no, I would rather, you got to put some extra money into their pockets. So I have no problem with that.
Imagine reading your bill, right? Like, and
Mm-hmm.
and that shit's on. I would walk around a restaurant and be like, "Can I see your receipt? Cause you picked me." Like, imagine that being your first introduction, like, and not being on this show, like, and never knowing what that is until somebody come over and you like, "Come here." They say,
It's like,
"Give me the explanation." If I say, "Sir, come here."
yes.
I noticed that there's a $3 charge on here, an adult surcharge. What's that? And your answer, in the best
Professionally?
yes.
It is due to the fact that my services needed extra requirement to handle not only you, but also your children. So that is the reason for that charge. If you have any problems with that, I can refer you to my manager.
I can hear you saying that. I can see. Yo, that is a very white answer. Thank you. Thank you. And listen, just be on the lookout. Y'all read y'all shit, cuz. Okay. Right or wrong? Did Richard Simmons wear a headband?
On occasion.
There's an argument on social media that he never had one. And you cannot find one picture of Richard Simmons right now with a headband. I dare you to Google it and find it while you're sitting there. You cannot find one. And I thought that this is a weird conversation for me, but I found it interesting because I remember I used to wear it because I dressed up as him one time, and it was not complete until I got that red headband, and it was red. They said no, he never wore one, and even he said he never wore one. Is he AI? Is it the real Richard Simmons? Please stand up. And while you're looking that up, and speaking of those surcharges, Chicago is moving closer to ending tip wages. So they're not gonna have they're gonna start putting everybody on per hour money, and no more of the like the bartenders are gonna get a check and not have to rely on tip wages. You think that's right or wrong?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Chicago is moving closer to ending tip wages, right or wrong?
Tip wages.
Yes, where
they're paid by their tips.
Paid by their tips.
I believe they need at least a base salary. Tips should be extra. Okay, so it's like get a normal working salary, but then the tips is like, they're extra.
So what if you're like, what if you are one of the more grandiose of your colleagues, and all you getting this money, and all of a sudden they say, yeah, we're gonna now moving forward, we're removing the tip wages, and now you're gonna be making $16.75 an hour. See, to me, tip wages relies on you.
Right.
Not 100% of the times. People just don't tip, but
right.
Your service, you get what you give out, and I feel like if you hinder that, i.e., in making me a per hour person, I look at that like it's a stymie. Mm-hmm. You know what stymie means? It's like a stagnation.
Right.
It's a stagnation.
All right. Well, I'm like kind of mildly distracted. I'm trying to find a picture, but the thing is, one of them it's something I've seen before, but it seems photoshopped. So that's why I'm not posting it.
Everybody is saying yes, he.
But he has worn a headband before.
They saying no. And
no. Okay, for those,
the hair coming up the top.
Yeah, hairs and all this stuff. But there, like I said, he wore it on an occasion. But there's my mom was a big fan of his workouts and stuff like that, and he watched the show. And like I said, it was on occasion or some show
he wore
episode.
It more often than not, because I was very surprised when he showed that movie screen of a forehead that he got.
Yeah,
like because his hair, you noticed that it was moving. The hairline was going back, so that threw me off. Okay, right or wrong? Service dogs in restaurants, not blind dogs. I'm talking about service dogs. I'm talking about emotional support animals in restaurants.
No, because unless they are for, like you said, for the blind, that's it. As for support animals, no. Mm-mm. Unless you be having them serve outside, no.
Okay.
Not in the restaurant.
I do not. Here's a small story. Where, my one of my other jobs, there was a person there that had a emotional support dog. Wasn't a service dog, i.e., like the lady wasn't blind. She didn't have him. None of that stuff. She just the daughter needed this animal, right? I don't mind, but stay in the room because that's where the daughter is. She's here. I'm trying not to say it because it's very known concept. She's here and you're here visiting. Let the animal stay with her. So I'm walking down to get something to eat, and this thing is in the middle of the floor, like, right? I go off because where we go to eat at, it is self-serve. So the stuff is facing this way. What do you think is all up through there? As this, and look, and it's one of them. The poodle is this big, the big ones, like the regular size poodles, because poodles are not regularly this size. The regular
really
size
tall ones, yeah.
Curly, the afro hair.
Yeah.
What do you think as this thing is doing this? What do you think is going on?
And this is in a hospital or medical facilities?
Medical facility.
Yeah, no. That dog should have never been in there. Unless it's like, again, the person's blind, no.
And then, of course, you're the visitor has this animal down here, not the person that is intended to be the emotional support pet for. So why is it even here?
I think a lot of people, I think the quote unquote support animals, I really think it's become a lame excuse for bringing your pet in. I mean, mind you, a lot of people there's something to put back in 2023. That's the emotional support animal, excuse. I say emotional support animal excuse because let's be honest, that is your pet. You bring it in there for no damn reason. Because you want to try to get whatever out of it, and and it's like, no, whatever sympathy you're getting out of it, I don't believe in it. So it's like that pet should have stayed at home.
Here go Moe. Moe say, I would be mad at myself if I brought my ESA to the restaurant. He is 65 pounds of no. Vivian said no, just order in. Blackout says negative, and Zoe said he okay with that. I'm okay with it if you can't see. I'm okay with it if you need it. Emotional support.
Need what? If you need him, shoot, give him a dang doll. It's like, I honestly, it's like what I don't know this person's plight. I really don't.
Me neither.
But the thing is, this is like, if this is like acting like a normal pet, then it's just like, let's be honest here. This pet should not be in this public space at this moment in time.
Shouldn't be. And then, no! Okay, right or wrong. To release her feminine energy, you must take away her masculine responsibilities.
I heard that. I don't know what that means.
You know?
I really don't, because it just seems like you want to, you want to be, like we said earlier, it's like you need a machismo man. Now you need, a very feminine woman. I mean, it's just like, okay, I kind of get what you're trying to say, but at the same time, it's like, there's a little masculinity in women, there's a little femininity in men, but just to balance certain things out. I mean, but how, try to take that out? I don't know how you do that unless you're into BDSM stuff. I mean, come on.
You think you gotta beat it out?
So, I mean, it's just like, shoot, an occasional tie up and, spanking here and there. Maybe that'll pull it out of her. I don't know. So.
Okay, so I have this question for you. Growing up, did your mom and dad care more about your attendance or your grades?
At the time, grades.
My daddy checked my attendance. I had all A's. Stellar child. stayed on honor roll until I got to high school with that math, that darn math. But and I got a C in a D one time. I just me and numbers just can't quite. But I stayed on honor roll, and I would be so proud to walk this paper home, and that Bama would look at everything and be like, "Yo, what you missed 2 days? When was that?" I'm like, I think I had skipped school or something. And then one of those days, and then something else happened. But I said, Daddy, that's all you see? You fucking right, that's all I see. I don't remember this. Da, da, da. And that was a thing. And speaking of that, truancy is at an all-time high. High school kids and truancy. Why do you think
Please give the definition of that for those who don't understand.
Is when your child does not show up for school. And there was a girl on the news last week who missed 82 days of the school year. And they were saying 82 days. And
that's almost 3 months.
Yes. And she was saying, I just didn't feel like it. And what does it matter? Because I'm still getting good grades or whatever. But I decided to do a test run on this, right? To ask DC kids, why don't they like to go to school? And you would be very, very saddened to know they're scared.
I agree with that.
There's in DC. I don't know about Maryland, but the DC kids are scared. They fear for their lives.
Yeah,
and their
because
safety.
you got a bunch there based off of a lot of shout out to Focusville. He kind of points that out on his show.
Yes.
There's a lot of, for whatever reason, high schoolers or even middle schoolers bring in firearms to deal with whatever issues they deal with whatever student or non-student they have at that school. So I do agree. And especially based off of since Columbine, I'm not saying since, whatever last mass shooting at a school, no, since Columbine, I do agree with that. And so yeah, I mean, if you're hearing more stories, I recently, last week tonight, mentioned about homeschooling for kids. That's been on the rise, and I do agree with it. I mean, I understand the safety precautions of it, but I really feel like at some point in time, I think parents should not be teachers because I think they're not fully equipped for it, unless they get state standardized syllabuses for or syllabi, excuse me. Yes. Excuse me for my, my niggerish came out there. Yes. So they pretty much need to get so they be properly teaching their kids the way they would a normal teacher would do it. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that.
I don't see, how you were speaking of coming out on the other side of this. It's feel like forever. Like, I don't know what the other side of this looks like. Like, I'm looking at the FBI agent who was carjacked, the other, they shooting kids every day at school. Like, I'm starting to believe a thing, right? Here's what I try to believe. Here's what I'm starting to believe, that the DC is rebelling against the gentrification. Like, they're becoming they back at number one for the murder capital. It's been 200 or 400 and something carjackings, 500 carjackings, I'm sorry, since for the year. Their number one murder city district. Their number one murder in the United States. Like, and Flint and Detroit had it on lock, and Baltimore had it on lock. Now it's DC. I feel like there's a rebellion that's going on to the point where they're driving. I'm sorry. No, they're so much crime and stuff going on that the businesses are shutting down and moving out. Like,
I agree and disagree.
Okay.
I agree with the fact, especially if you look in one place I remember reading about is Chinatown. There are certain places there, especially where the Capital One Arena is and things like that. A lot of those business, they closed down the McDonald's that was right next door because of the fact of what you just stated. My thing is I don't think it's gentrification. I think it's due to the fact that these individuals, especially young individuals, for whatever reason, they have nothing else to do. And they pretty much, you can say, there could be a list of things, of reasons why they are not at home. They're wandering the streets around late at night, and especially if you are under the age of 18. I don't understand why you're still out at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning at a, doing whatever.
And your parents allowing that shit.
Yeah, parents allowing that shit. And then the thing is like, if so, again, we are the parents of this current generation. And the way I see it is they allow that shit. If you're not paying attention, you can give excuse to one. It's like, well, I worked 3 or 4 jobs. I mean, I was working on my 5th. I didn't know where that person was. It's like, so you don't have another person to rely on to look at for your kids. No. Why? Because you have this weird idea of how modern day people are about taking care of kids. You ever thought about sitting down and having it? I remember my mom, talking to potential babysitters, and stuff like that, and say, "Are you good with your kids?" and blah blah blah. And, getting proper information about that. People don't do that nowadays. Why? Because because either A, you keep claiming you don't have the time for it, or B, you keep claiming you don't have the money for it, or C, you feel like this person's grown, they can take care of themselves. I just give them an iPad and call it a day. Yes. And it's like, no. If you want to be a parent, properly do one of those 3 things, except for the last one, because you don't need an iPad. Now, mind you, people will be commenting, and I've heard this for many times on this show. They say, well, you're not a parent, you understand. But here, I was a kid just like you. Yep. So I do see things and know things where I can understand the fact of what my parents went through. So that way I wouldn't do that to my kids, or better yet, I would add that to help with my kids. So A, if I'm going out, to my 3rd job, I will try to provide a very well-known, helpful person to help with my child, and especially when they are able to walk and talk and stuff like that. Look, I just recently saw Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue, greatest adventure babysitting movie out there, and I still love it to this day because of the fact that it's like, back then, you can say, oh, that's only happens in suburbia. No, it can happen anywhere. And unfortunately, though, I think everyone's so damn paranoid about how that next person could be a pedophile or whatever. And it's like, look, as long as you screen people, talk to them.
Yeah,
and
best you can.
Yeah,
because your own family could be that. Like, they're the first ones.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, so that's all you had to do is just like, just do your due diligence and talk to people and see who's a good babysitter and stuff like that. I think that's really that is one, I think, the main problem. Because I feel like before gentrification, DC was the murder capital before gentrification. That's why they ended up doing it, quote unquote, doing it in the first place. Because they figured it's like, hey, let's clean this up, wipe the slate clean, and start anew. No, it's just, there's just a whole bunch of knucklehead kids who have nothing better to do with their lives, and you can say they're part of gangs or whatever, and just causing a whole bunch of ruckus.
I don't remember us being so knuckleheadish. I don't remember that, and I'm from Flint. Like, we had gangs in Flint. Like, but I don't recall every day. I know 2 people at my school that died, and one girl got shot on the field. Pat, may she rest in peace. And one of the twins got shot walking home, but he was in a gang. Like, 2 people that I knew from high school, I remember dying, like, of crime. Here, I feel bad for these kids. I feel bad for them. I feel that type of thing is what they probably have to contend with in the course of being home, or in the course of, it's a lot. It's a lot for immature minds.
Because I for whatever reason they're doing this. Because let's keep in mind, DC is if you see it, it's getting to the 21st century, a lot more so than it was back, more so than ever, because a lot of new buildings, a lot of new structures, a lot of new roads and stuff like that. And pretty much it's like, look, as many times that people complain, it's like, hey, Chuck City no more and all that stuff. Yeah, but then again, you have, they're going to build the Go-Go Museum, next year and things of that nature. So be honest with you, is like
You supposed to be happy with that?
no, but you can no. What I'm saying is you can say that you're not you be happy or not happy about it. But what I'm saying is the fact that look, DC's changing with or without you. They're trying to get out of that stink of being a murder capital city. They're trying to be better and different and all that stuff. And a lot of the changes
how's that working out?
Huh?
How's that working out?
It's difficult because it's being like I said, you will get resistant, and this is an example of resistance. You have a whole bunch of young kids who got nowhere to go, claiming they got nowhere to go, but really it's like, look, you're non-educated, you hang around with people who are non-educated, and you're causing a whole bunch of issues where you have no being to be causing because of the simple fact is like, we don't understand what your problem is. What do you want? You have a problem with another group of people on the other side of the street? For what? What is your issue? They're not talking. They're only talking with bullets, and that's it. And as many times you can say it, it's like, oh, this is the mayor's fault, the police fault, whatever. But really, it's who's
in Dubai, by the way.
Yeah. So, good for her. But the thing is like, look. There's no issue. There's no reason for not explaining your issues they really have none. They just don't. So I mean, for me, I agree with what DC's doing. I feel like you need to change this. You need to upgrade. You need to be, progressing into a bigger, better city. But you will have this is a form of a resistance of a bunch of kids causing problems.
I agree. Let me sashay on over to YouTube real quick. I got a picture right now of Richard Simmons wearing a white headband and a red one. He said, I wish I could send it to you. I'll hit you on offline, let you send it to my phone. Because animals and food don't go together in the same room. And when you're 15, I will sign for you to get a job. Yeah. He's just going on everything that I was saying. Just want to read that. If it was 82 days because she was sick, okay, but prove it. But if it's just because, hell no. Parents need to be held more accountable. And that is what I was trying to get at.
Okay.
The
3 months.
Yes.
Almost 3 months. School is 6 or up to 7. So you've been gone for 3 months out of the year. And you claiming she's sick? She should be in a hospital.
No, that's what she's saying. Barring if she's sick, it shouldn't. Shouldn't what? No, prove it. Yeah. And their parents should be accountable. Another thing too, they were stating in response to the truancy thing is that kids are no longer used to being in class. But pandemic, we've been back and rolling for 2 years now.
But let's say this. I know some kids are giving the option to do either. Do it remotely or kind of like
I think it's half and half.
Yeah, half and half. So they have the option. I know college kids that's different, but as for high school and middle schools, I think I would say it depends. It really depends.
Get your ass up and go to school. Shit, get your ass up. We make so many excuses, and as parents, the accountability piece, like Tweety said, it's not there. I could never have 82 days. I could never. And because we know that this chick wasn't sick because there would have been a note. And that wasn't the deal. She said, the newscaster, the broadcaster, she said, well, why so many days? She's like, I didn't realize it was that many days. So my teacher kept saying, I don't see you much anymore. She's like, but I'm on an honor roll. That's all that the bottom line.
They feel like, that's the bottom line.
Yes.
Because like being on the honor roll, it's like, I'm good. It's like I get my A's up and all that stuff. But then again, it's like an example of what. I mean, I know schools is not always fun, but still, it's like you have to show up. So attendance is part of the grade option. So
what's my time? What's my time?
You have 7 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna hit a few of these perspectives and food for thoughts, and I don't know who needs to hear this, so we're going to end it off that. Perspective. If it is not God's time, you can't force it. When it's God's times, you can't stop it. Food for thought. Believe half of what you hear, and sometimes words are just words. People can tell you anything. I don't know who needs to hear this. Girl, answer that unknown call in the middle of the night. Gotta answer that joint. Answer all unknown calls or all block calls in the middle of the night. I don't know who needs to hear that. Perspective. Get the love of a healthy relationship and the sex of a toxic one. Food for thought. That you do most, you do best. Got that? That you do most, you do best. I don't know who needs to hear this, but when you are actually powerful, no need to be petty. Perspective. Saying yes to happiness means learning to say no to things and people that stress you out. Got that? Saying yes to happiness sometimes means learning to say no to things and people that stress you out. I agree with that. Food for thought. Mistreating people and then avoiding communication with them is not protecting your peace. It's avoiding accountability. Bitch. You know who I'm talking to, too. I don't know who needs to hear this. Let people do what they need to do to make them happy. Mind your business and do what you need to do to make you happy. The end. Perspective. What you put up with is what you end up with. Very true. Food for thought. A man who lacks purpose distracts himself with pleasures. Twerk videos. Booty. I don't know who needs to hear this. He ain't got to lie to you because you like him so much you lie to you. That one is, look, that, let me hit that bell on that. I'm going to say it again. He ain't got to lie to you because you like them so much that you lie to you. Very true. Food for thought. You have to learn to care about people without taking on all of their problems. That's very hard. That's a challenge for me. That's definitely a challenge. A perspective. Sometimes it's better to apologize than to ask for permission. Just do it. Let me say it again. Sometimes it's better to apologize than to ask for permission. Just do it.
You may save that for another debate.
You save that?
Save that because I don't agree with that.
Okay, I'm gonna asterisk that. Perspective. When you are in your feelings, it reduces your intellect. Very true. Food for thought. Make sure somebody is ready to accept what you give before you fully allow them in. I don't know who needs to hear this. Your story is yours to tell. Fuck them. Don't let other people tell your story. I stopped doing quotations for people, like saying what she said. You tell your own story. Like, if I tell it, yeah, your story is yours to tell. And there are people who want to know who and the name of it and tell me what they. And a lot of times I don't do that. It's for them to tell you. Fuck them. I don't know who needs to hear this. Reserve your judgment. What some survive just might kill you. Bad joke of the day. Did you hear the one about the Italian chef who died?
No.
He passed away. Bad joke of the day. What is Forrest Gump's email password?
Box of chocolate?
One, Forrest, one. Okay. What do you call a fish with no eyes?
Don't know.
FSH.
And on that note, we're ending this.
Okay, y'all. It's been another fine Monday. I had to end the day with my corny jokes. Y'all, please like and subscribe and pass this thing along and share it. Y'all, we back on Facebook. I'm Kiki. We will see Tone next week, and that is Quinoa. I'm out of here. Y'all have a great day. Thank y'all for starting y'all morning with me. Peace.